All right. Hello, everyone. Good to have you here. Paul Tranny diving into the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge where we're going to be playing with fire. It sounds dangerous. Basically, we're going to be rendering graphics. The cool thing about this is you can start with just from a blank document. But I want to welcome everybody. Judith, Beatrice, Nadia, good to have you here. Where there's fire, there's screen blending mode. Haha, that's good stuff. Yeah, I'm doing it back to back, so this is going to be really fun. I have the opportunity to play with kind of multiple things, so this is going to be good. A lot of Photoshop, but I think it's going to be really fun because I do have a master class after this. So big thank you to Terry White, doing some macro photography, and again, after I have my master class, Jason will be up. It's a whole thing. It's going to be fun. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Mena, feel free, whoever's elsewhere, jump on to behance.net/Adobe Live. Let's dive into this right. Oh yeah, no. Hello from Florida. Good to have you here. Mary, Mary, you always seem so positive, so I really appreciate you hanging out with us. So this is awesome. Again, this is day 9 and the last day, so it's been really fun, everything we've been making. But you can see from this link, just go to the challenge tab, but right down here, play with fire, get started, boom. That's where we will find this file. Again, you could start with a blank document. We're going to play around with this. This will be really fun. So thank you so much, Sam, for posting that as well. Since this is our last one, we're ultimately going to take all these projects and roll them into a Behance project. But we have this brand new gallery. I'm sure Sam knows about it. On Behance, a curated gallery for daily creative challenges. So that's going to be really fun, and this is where you want to end up. So that's the idea. I'm just like, maybe I'll post that in there too. Cool. All right, so here it is. Here's the file. Go ahead and download it. We'll get the party started. And again, I think a lot of people don't know that actually Photoshop can render graphics. They know of rendering clouds, which is really just another way of, just adding texture. But actually sort of making elements is kind of fun. So take this, here's our file, let's open that up. Boom, there it is. Fancy file. It's just an arm. I actually was playing with these lights that I have right over there. I'm sorry, I don't have them right in front of me. And by the way, so Mark's asking a question about contacting me or us or whatever. Just go ahead and use Discord. That's why we use Discord, is so we can continue the conversation even after today, by the way. So Photoshop, you can see current challenge, the creative challenge right here, and then the current challenge submissions. So, but by all means, ask questions right in here. That's how you do it, right? This is the particular file. I'm back. And then I thought this was really fun. So some people know me that I have this cool light that I've used to take this photo. So I've just had so much fun with this. And some of you might have seen me use this before, but we can kind of go through like all the colors right now. Go into blue. Let's do some blue light underneath, just kind of like that. Okay, so let's dive into this right now. Easiest thing to do is add a new layer, okay? And then we will jump over here to our vector tools, like our drawing, which is so spooky. I'm going to change this to red. But you're going to grab one of these, is what you're going to do. You're going to go through, grab a little red action. Oh, freaky. Grab the pen tool or use the freeform pen tool, and then there's the curvature tool. Curvature tool gives you those nice curves, just so you know. So as I go right over here, curvature, I can click, click, click. It's going to give me these fun curves, right? So I'm just going to do a simple S, right? When I'm drawing with any one of these items, this is the key thing you need to remember is right up here. Regardless of what pen you select, you want to select path, right? So that's the idea. Cool. All right. Susanna found the one that she wants to practice on. Perfect. So she is ready. Notice right up here, there actually are some paths that I already gave you in here, but here's that work path that I'm working on right now. Okay, so I'm drawing with a vector line. I'm making sure it's a path. I can then go to render and write in here flame. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do flames. We're gonna do trees. It's gonna be fun. So we'll go with flame. Sometimes you'll get this message because this file is actually pretty large. I kind of kept the high-res version roughly. But it says, hey, you know what? You might not be able to see the whole thing in the preview, but don't worry, it's going to generate everything. Here it is, my lovely little S curve, as you can see. And I encourage you to kind of go through this. Go through these drop downs. Here's one flame along the path. Usually what it defaults to is multiple flames along path. Actually, let's go in here. It usually defaults to this third one for some reason. Okay, so that you can see it makes these flames, multiple flames, one direction. And guess what? Yeah, we could crank that up and make that larger. We can make the flames bigger. We can give them more or less intervals, but we could really crank this up if we want to really make this look like it's on fire, right? So hopefully that makes sense. It's super easy and it's so much fun. By the way, do this, Valder. What's up, Valder? Anel, good to see you. Mia as well. This one flame along a path, if you select that, it just does this cool design. Like every single time it does a fun design. So I think it's really neat. MD, hello, good to see you here as well. From there I can go and like say, hey, you know, use custom color for the flames if I want to, right? Click in here. Let's make it a blue flame like so. And there's our blue flame just for fun, right? Bam, just created this fun design. Cool part is that that path is still there, okay? I could always save it, by the way, if I want to, but it actually puts this on a layer that I can go ahead and move anywhere I want, okay? So now that I've done the basic example, let's dive into what I actually want to do, which is kind of take this pen, and I could use the curvature tool, use the pen tool, whichever one you're just like most comfortable with. I'll kind of do a click and drag. I'm gonna have it kind of do a swooshy thing, like, I don't know, I'm kind of thinking about this, like maybe like that. Kind of have it come around like that. This is kind of the S that I want. I'm gonna kind of have it wrap around my hand is what I'm thinking, right? Direct selection tool, move that point. The bummer thing is, everyone, Zig and everyone, just so you know, Sig, sorry, is it's no longer tied to the path. So it's like once it's rendered, it's kind of there. Modifying the line isn't going to do anything for you. Okay, but here we go. Boom, boom. We have that. Work path filter, render, flame. Click OK. What I'm going to do is I'm going to not use a custom color. I'm going to go in and I'm going to use multiple flames along a path like so. And here I can change the width if I want to and kind of work on the length. But I usually kind of play with this a little bit to get the look that I want. Let's take this up. And we'll make the width, you know what, the width I'm not going to worry too much about because I'm going to be able to modify that later on. But again, I'm just currently kind of playing with this. I'm noticing if I increase the length, it starts to add a little bit more motion in there. But that's all I'm going to do is something like that, okay? Click OK. It's going to render that out. It's going to be pretty straightforward. Tanja, I've burned my fingers today. Yeah, don't burn your fingers on this either. Let me make sure the light's coming from the right direction. There we go. I love this thing. That's a little bowling. This little light. Ah, it's so cool. So anyways, there it is. There's the path, right? It's no longer tied to this path right up here. Okay. So if I actually want to modify it, I would go in and use a couple things. I would probably use Puppet Warp. So edit and go to Puppet Warp. Clicking right there, it's going to turn this into just a nice mesh, what looks like a mesh, and then I can add these little control points like so, right? And I can start to manipulate this. If you change in the Puppet Warp, if you change this to distort, so when I move it out further, it will actually kind of distort more. So that's kind of what I kind of like to do, just to kind of vary its, you know, the size, for instance. kind of like that, okay? That's all I'm doing. Shrinking that up a little bit. You get the idea. It's called a bowling, B-O-L-I-N-G, right? We have that particular flame. I gave you this file because what this file has, it has different layers. So I could potentially, see if this will work. I know it will work, but it's just kind of see if I have this all positioned correctly. I can, you know, duplicate this layer, put this one underneath everything, or maybe just underneath the fingers, maybe under everything. And I'm going to move this up like that. Let's rotate it, right? And now we have one behind and one in front. Right now for this one in front, I will add a layer mask right here. Boom. B for brush. And I can paint with black to make it disappear right down here, for instance, like that. And right up here, right? So that's what I'm doing in this case, kind of making it look like it's wrapping around. Another thing I would do is I would jump in here and I would add a hue and saturation, right? For this hue and saturation, I would maybe shift the color. After I add this clipping path, excuse me, clipping mask, I can kind of change the color, right? So I want to make sure there's like a red and then a purple, right? So I could do something like that. B for brush. Let's just do something like that. Command J, bam, bam, bam. Another one. Let's make this one blue. Right, added another adjustment layer, and I can shift that more to the blue, bluish purple, kind of like that. And then add a layer mask, and then kind of remove. So now we can have one side that's purple and one side that's red, okay? All right, duck sound effects. A snake of flames. Yeah, that's really what it looks like. It looks like a snake of flames. Here, let's do this though. Let's take this to the next level again. Let's do this, shall we? Let's do this really fast. You could use shapes. Instead of just doing a line, you can go into the custom shape tool, right? Clicking right there. Open that up. I've added a lot of these, just so you know, from my shapes panel. So go down to Window, Shapes, and this is how you add all these shapes in. Legacy shapes and more. That's what you want to load in, and that will give you all of this stuff, which is awesome. Right, close that. Go back in here, because what's in here is a lovely heart right down here. There should be a couple of them. There should be two. Oh, legacy shapes and more. There it is. Like, let's scroll this down, and here's a heart. Here's a heart. 3. Oh, I like this one. This heart right here is the one I'm going to pick. So picking that heart like so, dragging that out like that. Remember, I want to make sure that when I make this shape that it's a path, right? Once that's done, oops, sorry. Rotate this around, maybe kind of stretch it out. I would maybe actually kind of delete. I would delete. Actually, this is what I would do. I would add an anchor point right there and then delete it. I basically made this like one path with a little bit of a part that breaks out. So hopefully you can see that. Oh, I got time. So here's this path. Hopefully you can see that. Let's select it all. Like that. I'm going to move it onto kind of the center, just so it's a little bit easier to see. Let's hide these others as well. Just kind of turn those off temporarily. And then for this path, with it selected, filter, render, flame, jump in here, and then start to play with these flames in here. Oh yeah, I still think multiple flames along a path is going to be our best bet. But I'm going to try to not make it look like a feather boa. All right. There we go. Okay, this is the setting that we want to adjust so it doesn't look like a feather boa. I saw that. I saw that. So many shapes. So many shapes you could set on fire. Look at this. Right in here. The interval. So how many there are across that path, right? So this is what I want. I think this is like much more realistic. I could crank up the size a little bit. Making it a little bigger, stretching it out a little bit more, and let's go with that. Click OK. I usually have been rendering out all mine just with like regular flame color, and then I end up changing it later on in here using hue and saturation. So let's bring back the hand. Here we are. We have this lovely flame. Same process. I would still go into Puppet Warp. Right? Start adding some pins because I think we get this fun distortion that I want. Right? Let's make sure this changes to distort. Boop. There it is. We can kind of have that. This be a little larger. This part, let's put a pin right here. This part be a little larger like that. Take this one, make it a little smaller. Take this end, make it a little smaller, kind of like that. And we just get kind of like a more interesting shape in this case, right? Hopefully that's making sense and everybody's having a wonderful day, a fine Friday. What are your big plans this weekend? Who's going out? I'm going to get my hair cut this weekend, everybody. What do you think? In Denver, they started opening up some things. You know, I'm going to get a haircut. There it is. Let's just shrink this up a little like that. Playing with fire is what we're doing. Let's adjust the hue. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Change that to more of the red. Let's turn on these other elements. Please be safe, whatever you're doing, guys. For sure. Sig, you think salon's open on the 15th? Gotcha. Yeah, everything is very limited opening. Like, I don't think salons will like blow dry your hair because because that's an issue. And here's the final, by the way. This is one I've spent more time on, and we get a good view of it right here. Okay, is that cool? Hopefully you like it. We're playing with fire. The key thing is I need to up the bottom graph, which is the interval. Mia's going out in the yard. Hey, cheers to that. So again, this is what you're going to end up with. I would export this out. Just Option, Command, Shift, S. Yeah, all the keys. Saving that, of course, to my desktop. And the cool thing is I would jump in here to Behance and I would create a project. I talked about this on the first day, but right in here, this is where I'd upload my files, like all of my projects. I have more, by the way. We've seen this one. In fact, if this one's my favorite, maybe it gets prime real estate, but I can also insert a photo grid. So maybe for the ones beneath it, I would probably, and I hope might not have them as PNG files or JPEGs, but that's what I would do next is start to load up all these that I've made. You know, here's the first image, but I would actually load those into a photo grid and then publish that. Yeah, check me out on Behance. Thanks for that shout out. Shameless self promo. What you do want to do is you want to make sure this is going to be posted to Behance, and it is hashtag PS Daily Challenge. So it's hashtag, don't do it right here. I have to enter in a lot of things, but it's that hashtag PS Daily Challenge, right? And then it'll get curated. This is the gallery that is curated, by the way, right here. Check it out. Let's just leave that alone. You could be featured here, which would be pretty awesome, right? Yeah, definitely Sig, all summer events. Yeah, totally. Summer events are just canceled everywhere. Let's go beyond that, actually. We have our fun Discord. Post it when you're ready. Take it to this next level. Let me show you one more thing. I have 5 minutes, so I think this is going to be really fun. You could even take your Dave from Nigeria. Good to have you here. You could take even some letters, for instance, or your initials, right? So, of course, this is my final one with awesome sparks that I've added and things like that. But you could come in and just add, for instance, your name. I would just do one letter at a time, okay? So that's what you want to do right in here. adding the letter P, like so, okay? Selecting it, going into paths, right over here, this is where we're going to convert the selection to a path. Make work path from selection. Bam! Puts it right in here. Now we have our path that I can go ahead and light on fire. Chad, how did I make the sparks? I think I either found a brush of sparks or, yeah, I think I don't know. I think might be from an image actually. But I've also tried spark brushes. My general advice is try to find the actual image rather than trying to fabricate something if you could help it. So with that being said, here it is. We want to go on a new blank layer. We'll go to filter, we'll go to render, we'll go to flame, and click OK. And then we can set this on fire as well. There's your initials, right? You get it. Boom, boom. Right? We can do the same with trees now that I still have 4 minutes. And then this hack's going to be up. Some hack is going to do this Photoshop masterclass. I don't know, some guy. Jeez. It's like, geez, they'll just let anybody do stuff here. I'm just kidding. But there's the P. Feel free to drop your initials in there or just do it on a blank canvas as well, right? So I just encourage you to honestly just play, have fun, build your portfolio is ultimately what we're going for. Because, yeah, you get the idea. See how fun we can make this? By the way, we can take this to the next level. Like I've done here, we can do the same thing with trees, by the way, with these letters. So I've done the same thing with these paths. You ready for this? And I've done this on a masterclass. That's why I want you to join me for a masterclass. It'll be fun. Trees, here it is. Selecting the tree. This is a path right here. And you ready for this? Filter. Render. And now we can actually render out picture frames and trees. All right, easy there, Ayush. Easy, buddy. I see you on YouTube. Come to Behance and hang out with us. There we are. We have this in the shape of that tree. See, might not be able to see it too well, but have some fun picking the tree that you want. I like these young Robina. Is fun to work with. I can play with the branch thickness. As I take that down, you can see it's a little bit more elegant. I can increase the number of leaves, the leaf size as well. But it's a blast. I'll click OK, right? And now we've made that tree. Let's move on, do that a couple more times with some of these other ones. Tree, bam. Tree, bam. Another letter, the second E. Again, let's see this. As I apply it, there are 2 paths that are exactly the same, but each time it renders it out like randomly. So it's always going to be this randomness, which honestly I want in this case, right? Last one. Render, tree, boom, okay, boom. You get the idea. Super fun. You get the idea. Taking letters, turning them into trees, turning them into flames. It's really up to you what you want to do. You could just do so much. Here's the final for this one, by the way, and I've posted this on my social media just to kind of keep the conversation going, by the way. So this is on Instagram, but this is the idea. Taking those trees, by the way, and turning them upside down, turning them into roots. It's basically the same tree that I try to make look like roots, right? I thought that was kind of clever. I think it worked out okay. And most of all, I'm just glad you guys are here. Hopefully learning as well. Oh, Susan, you're too nice. Thanks for the past 2 weeks. I've really appreciated it. I want people to like swap out a lot of this stuff. Come up with your own themes, your own quotes. You know, that's what we've been doing the past 2 weeks. You know, storms make trees take deeper roots, right? It's like, yeah, storms just suck. They suck, you know, but they make us stronger as people. And whatever you guys are going through, know that you're not alone, because we're hanging out with you too. So I appreciate everybody just being here. Just make sure when you do this stuff, don't actually do it. We just want to you to just be safe is all. Let's turn off my little social media guy. But you get the idea. Thank you so much. Don't forget to post everything to Photoshop. It is exactly PS Daily Challenge, right? That's what it is. PS Daily Challenge on Behance as a project. Create a project And we'd love to see what you come up with. And like, let me know. Hit me up on all the social medias. Would love to see what you've made. Tag me, because I wanna check it out. I wanna keep the conversation going. I'm gonna let you guys go. You guys have been fantastic. It's gonna be really fun. Next, we are gonna be diving into caricatures and like sort of turning yourself into a fun like cartoon, which will be also fun. So again, we're just flexing our Photoshop muscles, getting stronger, showing what it can do, showing what we can do in terms of our Photoshop skills, learning and all that fun stuff. Yeah, and by the way, like, you know, it's not like you have to do every single day. Do what you can, right? If you did 5 out of the 9, totally fine. But just don't forget about this link, because this link does have all of those source files to start with. So feel free, use these source images, right? As we were blending images, right? Turning that into a plastic bag, you get the idea. Zup, Jason, Rose, Paula, good to have you. Hort, David, awesome. So I think that's all I have for you. But we certainly made some amazing things, as you were able to see, as I just jump into this folder and we just kind of review some of these final projects, as we can see, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We made this yesterday. A little glitch effect, which was really fun. You get the idea. So thanks so much, everybody. I'm going to turn it over to this next hack. Whoever this is. Who is this guy? Some hack's up next. But next up is, should be... Yeah, I am up next. I had to double check. So, but we have a full day of master classes. As Terry just mentioned, we're not going to have them next Friday. We're going to have them today, so get your fill. Thanks so much for watching, and I will be right back in a second. Thanks, everybody.